Ladies and gentlemen, this is One Man Zerg with TheUEN.com, and I'm giving you game number 2 between SCVRush and Oink. SCVRush is the orange Terran in the bottom middle, the 6 o'clock position of Lost Temple, and Oink is the red Protoss in the 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock position of Lost Temple, or the right side. This is the closest possible positions, as you see this very short map distance in between these two players. So this leads to a precarious position for both players, as expanding is a little more difficult, and timing when you're going to be attacked in between the short distance is also very difficult for these players. So I am very curious to see what happens. Oink did lose the first game to SCVRush. It was a long game on Metalopolis. It was a close game on Metalopolis. It looked like Oink was doing some great pressure and control at the start on SCVRush, but SCVRush was eventually able to expand and take a little bit of a lead. He did some very effective Banshee harassment to try and get him back into the game. It put him with the Harvester lead on Oink, and from there he was just able to out-expand Oink. He was, looks like, about a minute or two ahead of Oink on every expansion from that point on, and was able to control them much more effectively than Oink was too. I think in part because they were planetary fortresses. It's very hard to deal with a planetary fortress when you're attacking with non-area units. So Oink was just in a bad position to take those third and fourth expansions of SCVRush out. His first two were pretty close, so he could defend them, but the third and fourth were both planetary, so he didn't need troops there necessarily to defend them. And Oink going with a pretty standard build here, it looks like. Got this gateway, got his assimilator going, so we're not going to see any kind of rush cheese on this. And it looks like SCVRush is also going with a very standard build, with his refinery coming up and not going double racks. So very curious to see what both these players are doing. Put up the production tab for all y'all to see. SCVRush with his orbital command going down. But really nothing exciting going down right now. I wish I could fast forward this game, but people are actually playing it, so I can't. SCVRush bringing out a Marine right now, dropping his supply depot there on 16. I don't know if that's late or not. I guess that's going to be right in time because the orbital command, so you get that little bit of delay timing in there. I don't actually play Terran very often, so I don't know that. And here comes SCVRush with the second scout. So what does he see? He sees that cybernetics core going down. He sees this tight-knit base. I don't know if I agree or disagree with that. I don't play Protoss style. And he's harassing the cybernetics core, but this probe will get him off the cybernetics core. Really doesn't do anything if he harasses that much because these shields will start regenerating shortly. And you look at that tick up. They go so fast on the regeneration that there's no need to worry about any kind of damage. And SCVRush with the sufficient block off right here. So we'll see. Is he going to be able to keep this SCV? Looks like he's going to keep it. I think he might have sent it in here and it got a little confused. And there goes Oink pulling off right there. So nothing interesting happening really. Oink going with the Robo. So we got a 2-gate Robo for Oink right here. We got a factory for SCVRush. We got a barracks for SCVRush with a reactor. Looks like we're going to see some tanks or some other tech. Because if you check it out, if he's got a reactor on a barracks, that means Marines. If he's going with the Hellion on the factory, it means Hellions. So he's not spending that gas, but he's got 2 geysers. So I am curious to see what SCVRush will do. Getting an armory over here. Looks like he might go Thors. I don't think Thors is a very usual build against Protoss. He's probably just going to go into the Stargate, just get a little 1-1-1 action going on. And, and then we got Oink expanding. This is what I like to see. I really like this move from Oink right now. You can see both players. It's 6 minutes into the game, and people have built a total of 3 Marines. Let's check out the units. Have 3 Marines, a Hellion, versus 1 Stalker and an Observer. So we can see both players are thinking, I'm either gonna macro or tech right now. And here Oink goes warping in 2 more Stalkers. So he's got significant amount of Stalkers, able to really thwart off these Hellions because Stalkers are such a great counter to Hellions. They're pretty quick themselves, they're not light units, and they're going to dominate this light unit that does pithy damage to non-light units. Only 8 damage. It's not even going to crack the shields of these Stalkers right here. So those stalkers are just there waiting. But what does SCVRush know? He knows there's an expansion going down. That's very vital information for him. You can see he drops a second rack, he drops a Tep Clab on the factory, and he is getting Thors. With my massive knowledge of both of these races versus each other, I know Thors are not the most common picture. Oh, he's going with an early Thor push. I like this. I like this a lot. Thor push. Look at all these SCVs. What are these SCVs going to be used for? They're going to be used for repairing this Thor. You surround that Thor with SCVs, you inhibit Zealots from attacking it, and you also give it much longer duration of life because it's going to be able to heal. So that's going to increase this 400 hit points even longer. And then that's going to spell a lot of trouble for Oink right now. SCVRush knows the timing on this push really well. He's very good with his early pushes. And I think he knows it spells trouble for Oink. Let's see what Oink does. Is Oink just going to keep mining? I think he had a few more seconds of mining in there, but I don't know if you exactly want to pick that. This is also a massive unit. You can see it right here, massive. So it will be able to crush any force fields if need be. I don't see that. Oh, and here we go. A little bit of shit talking between the. And there's the Immortal. The Immortal is going to handle this Thor. Oh, and I got a little angry right there. And the Immortal is going down and punishing it. Punishing that Thor. So, you know what? Oink lost a lot of minerals with that expansion, but let's check this out. That Thor is worth 300 crystals right there, too. So, if we go to the units lost tab, we can see SCVRush is slightly, and he's got an observer there, so he knows, hey, I can put some punishment on this Thor if you want me to. And Oink, what is he doing? He's controlling SCVRush's expansion. He says, you know, anything you can do, I can do too. Oh, is he gonna get out of the? Oh, and he loses his observer, puts him slightly ahead into the resources lost. And what does it do? Huge thing. It makes it so Oink can no longer apply pressure there unless he brings another observer. And SCVRush, once again, that push, that timing of that push was so essential because he's going to be able to knock down his Oink's expansion, which he did. Then he's going to warp this into an orbital command and land it over here. About the same time, Oink is actually moving this back into a fully operational expansion, which means, you know, they're in basically the same position. Maybe SCVRush is slightly ahead with these resources lost, but nothing significant really, you know. So very, very interesting how that really all turned out. But it's actually a very even game right now. And these Thors, does he have 250mm? Do you need to research that? I thought you needed to research that. Maybe he researched that. Maybe I didn't even catch it. Maybe anyone watching this can post and tell me if that is researchable or if it's not. I'm pretty sure it's researchable and it's changed to a cooldown of 50 seconds now. But very interesting nonetheless. So we see SCVRush landing this over here, and let's look at this count. 38 to 28. He is behind, but Oink does not have his second base yet. And Oink is moving in. Does he have an observer? Let's see. He doesn't have an observer. He's not able to look up there. Ooh, SCVRush sniping off that stalker right there with the 250mm. I like to see that. That is some very effective use right there of 250mm by SCVRush. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. Let's be real. You know, let's check this out. It's 125.50, but it's 125 crystal and 50 gas that he now has above Oink. You know, that's what you got to do in these games. You have to pick and choose, and you have to, you know, whittle your way to the top with a lot of those battles. So you can see here at the units lost, he's still ahead of Oink, and that. Oh, actually, he's behind Oink. 75 behind Oink. But it's probably close only because of that. Kind of moves like that. So, so very interesting positioning. And then we go back to the income. We can see SCVRush is ahead just slightly. He's behind in harvesters. Oh, he's about tied in income. So, Oink doing a very effective job. I love Oink's macro right now. Really keeping him in the game. 12 harvesters ahead. And he says, hey, unless you're going to mule constantly, I'm going to have the advantage. And he does have the advantage right now. And if SCVRush needs to scan, then he's gonna definitely lose this battle even more. Oh, and there he goes, taken out. He's got this Raven, so it's definitely gonna be trouble for any kind of observers. And Oink sees, hey, I might not be in the best position. He's moving in right now. This is a big battle. Oh, Oink is backing out. Oink, is he gonna be able to takes out that Raven? These 250mm are unloading on these Immortals. And he takes out, I think he took out 2 Immortals right there. Very effective use of the 250mm. Oink, here he comes, trying to get a good line on him. Oh, taking out some Marines. Very effective use, taking out these Marines. 250mm on Immortal. Is he going to pull out another 250? No, he wasn't able to pull it out on that second Immortal. That second Immortal goes back, but he has his Banshee. Very low health, but he does have his 3 Thors. That's so strong right now. And without those Immortals, I don't know what Oink can do against this. This is just so strong. SCVRush is just... wow. It's just rude right now what he's doing. He is just flexing his Terran muscle and knows that he has a huge advantage right now. And I'm impressed. SCVRush knew to use those 250mm against those Immortals so effectively. Losing this Banshee, but still, it really doesn't matter. SCVRush is saying whatever. Gets a Colossus coming out. This Colossus could change the tide of battle. Gets a lot of probes coming out right now. They are going down. Gets these Zealots. Are they going to get in there? Takes out 1 Thor. Going to take out these Marines. He has lost his expansion, but he is going to be able to thwart this attack. Is he? Oh, he's moving out a lot of probes. I think that's game for Oink. If Oink, yeah, Oink is not going to be able to handle the rest of this attack. It's just too strong. This Colossus does not have the extended thermal mantle. As you can see, they are not even being researched right now. And, oh, there goes the Colossus. And I expected GG in just seconds from Oink. This was a very good matchup, but, oh, there's the GG.